Hey everyone, live at bullbuster.net today, and today I want to talk to you about why you would choose this over this. This is the 500-yard spool fluorocarbon, it's our bulk spool, versus the 50-yard spool fluorocarbon. So, the first reason why you would want to use the bulk spool 50-pound fluorocarbon, or any pound test fluorocarbon for that matter, is that you're going to be using a lot of fluorocarbon for the same thing over and over again. And one example of that is, let's say you're kite fishing. So I'm talking about East Coast style kite fishing where you're fishing 6 baits. Each leader for each bait is 20 feet. And oftentimes you catch 2 fish, and both of those fish you're going to get rid of the leaders, put a new leader on, and send your bait back out. So you're going through a lot of line at once. This is a great spool. It's a lot more expensive to buy to make leaders with fluorocarbon in this spool, simply because it takes us a lot more time to spool all these versus this per yard. So that cost we pass on to you, and that's a good way to do it. The second reason to buy a bulk spool is if you are using your fluorocarbon as a top shot. Now, one note on that, a lot of people in Southern California do that. One note on that is if you're using fluorocarbon versus, let's say, mono as a top shot, you want to be making sure that you're using it in a method where there's a lot of pull and tension on the line, because fluorocarbon is a lot stiffer than mono. And let's say you're fly lining a small bait like an anchovy, having a top shot of fluorocarbon might not be a good idea, just because it's not pulling that much. And the harder line, it's going to kind of have some of the memory from the reel. But let's say that you are dropping a jig, you're yo-yo fishing and dropping the yo-yo down to the tuna, and that's going on. It's great to have a top shot of fluorocarbon because you don't have any knots. It's direct to your braid, and you're good to go. So that's another reason why you'd want this bulk spool fluorocarbon. Now, another reason is, let's say that you are like a lure manufacturer. You're making lures and you want fluorocarbon on them because, hey, fluorocarbon has better abrasion resistance. It's harder and it's easier. It's harder for the fish to see it. So yeah, that's another reason why you'd want to use a lot of this bulk line at once. Another reason is if you're a charter boat, you're out there fishing every freaking day and you're looking to keep your overhead down. Some of that's by keeping your costs down. So again, for these smaller spools, it's a lot more expensive for us to spool each yard, and that cost is passed on. Versus this bulk spool, you have a lot of line, and the per yard cost is down. So don't spare on your fluorocarbon. Get out there, use the best stuff all at once, and catch more fish for your clients.